With an interest in recording human realities and experience, Thomas Eakins paints the gross clinic, giving us an idea of the study of medical anatomy. This was an all too brutal realism and was rejected by the Philadelphia exhibit of 1876. Our interest lies in Eakins, who wants to depict accurate observations. He studied movement and human form in motion with the camera with Edward Muybridge. And with the invention of photography, we easily move from painting these medical scenes to photographing them to be included in textbooks so that they could aid in study. With the invention of photography, we see it being used in a wide variety of areas. It is used for science and medicine, for understanding and studying the body, as well as depicting new and exotic places for travel. This is a photograph by Josiah Hawes, and it's depicting an early operation under ether. General perception and understanding about how a horse runs is that a horse would have one hoof on the ground at all times and never having all four hooves leave the ground. So this is how horses were often depicted in paintings. And this was just the general accepted rule. Not until the invention of the camera and the photograph and a faster shutter speed are we able to prove the theory wrong. This is early Mythbusters, and Edward Muybridge is able to capture on film a horse at a gallop, and we can see in the top two frames that all four hooves of the horse's feet are lifted off of the ground. Muybridge continues to study, along with Thomas Eakins, the body as well as lots of other animals and how they move. He was able to capture this by setting up a camera at about 200 different yards with a trip rope, and his camera would then take a photograph at each one of those. And so this is what it looks like putting them all together. The first war where we have a camera is the Crimean War. This is by Roger Fenten, and you can see the image on the right that it would have been quite a process to load up all of your glass plate negatives and your camera and all of your chemicals in order to take your whole photographic studio on the road with you. Now, these early images don't show a lot of action because our shutter speeds are still slow enough, and it's quite a labor-intensive process, so we don't have front-line footage. So you can see just an image with a road and a field and cannonballs in it. This image, however, conveys quite a bit more emotion than our previous one. This is from the studio of Timothy O'Sullivan, in which many photographers would have been sent out from his studio, and only he kind of keeps the name. And we see a whole field of slain men from the Civil War. And when this was seen by the public, it was extremely astounding and would have been very shocking for anyone to see real figures, real people, in an image, in a photograph. The photograph was used also for exploration, where people could not go during this day and age. The adventurous would go and take a whole crew to carry their equipment and explore places that hadn't been seen before. This would have been a rather dangerous thing to do because one had to pack all of your darkroom equipment with you, set up a portable tent for your darkroom, take a picture using an extremely heavy camera on a tripod, take your photograph, and then go ahead and process it right then and there. These early photographers faced many challenges, sometimes losing their life as their ship went down with their camera and all of their negatives. Sometimes they faced medical challenges because of the harsh chemicals that were used. Nevertheless, these early photographers contributed greatly to our understanding of the world, of science, and of new places. Photographers swarm to hard-to-get-to places to feed the public's appetite for exotic images. So photographers travel to the West, to Old Faithful, to capture Old Faithful erupting, to Niagara Falls, to the pyramids in Egypt, to the Grand Canyon, all so that you could see these images from your armchair. Photographers would lug heavy equipment and fragile glass plates up mountain peaks and then work in portable darkrooms with black fingers, clothes that were corroded by silver nitrate, and were in physical danger from the harsh chemicals in the photography lab. These are our pioneers of photography,